Welcome to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everybody, you are listening to episode 55, How to Succeed in a New Job with Robert Moment. Hey everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. I'm Lorraine Rise, and there is a beautiful, gorgeous, sunny day outside my window, and I'm in a great mood. I've got a fun show for you guys planned with a special guest, so I'm really excited. You picked a good show to listen to. I made a new connection recently with a gentleman named Robert Moment, and I decided to bring him on to the show because I think that he has a very important and kind of different message than what we have focused on so far. So I'm going to let him, in a minute come on and just kind of introduce himself. I'm sure he'll do a better job than I will. But what we're going to focus on in a couple minutes here in our interview is not just how to get a job, because we've talked a lot about that. That's what I coach clients on a lot, is the job search process and how to be successful and efficient with that. But what Robert's going to help us with is, what do you do after you get the job? How do you succeed in a new job? I don't think that a lot of people give enough thought and attention to that. It's all about just landing the interview and landing the job, and I'll be fine once I get the job. But I don't think people put enough strategy and intention into, well, how do I be successful in this new job? And what do I do after I get it to make sure that it's a good job that I can stay at and be successful at? So this is kind of a different angle that we have not really explored yet on this show. So I'm really, really excited. So I'm going to bring my new friend on in just a minute, but I'm still kind of excited from last night, all the energy of the Facebook Live that I did. It was my group, Career Uprising, on Facebook. That's kind of an extension of this show. It's a growing group that I created for fans of this show and prospects and past clients and anyone who's really kind of interested in my message. And I did a very rare Facebook Live, which I haven't done in months and months, and it was so fun. So if you guys missed out on that and you want to kind of be in the know of when I'm going to go live and do free coachings and Q&As and things like that in my group, then definitely get on my email list. Go to careeruprising.com/sign up and you'll get on my email newsletter. And you will be the first to know when I do things like that. Sometimes I do those things kind of spontaneously. I like to do that. I like to kind of shake things up and pop into the group from time to time. And it was like a career Q&A, basically. I just spent about 45 minutes there answering questions, and there were some good ones. So if you haven't joined the group, go to Facebook, look for the group. It's Career Uprising. You can still watch the replay and benefit from hearing all the questions that were asked, and maybe you can participate next time. And I also, another reason to get on my email list too, on that Facebook Live, I made an announcement that I have launched a new online store. Super, super exciting. I have a book that I'm selling there. I have some guided meditations, visualizations that I am now selling, and I've already gotten some great feedback from the first couple of people. So I'm just got all kinds of new things going on, and I'm just so excited. So if you want to be the first to know about those things, hop on over to careeruprising.com, get on my email list so that you won't be left out when I do things like that. So it's a good way to kind of connect with me and get to know what it would be like to coach with me if you ever wanted to do that. So let me tell you guys just a little bit about my special guest today, Robert Moment. Robert is an interview coach and many things. He's a speaker too and an author. And he's also the Get Hired expert. I love that. I love that name. So he has a lot of years of experience and knowledge and really just a passion too for helping people to be successful. He helps job seekers just like I do. And he's got kind of a no-nonsense approach. He's really just gets down to the facts of what's going to make you successful and what you need to know. So he works with people who are ambitious and want to not just be average, but be successful and be the best that they can be. And he helps them to get jobs, to be successful in those jobs, interview better, and many other things. So I am actually going to go ahead and let him tell you a little bit more about what he does. So welcome to the show, Robert. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Lorraine. Glad to be on your great show. Thanks for having me. And I'm excited to be on the show to give your guests ideas, tips, and strategies to make them stand out and succeed starting their new jobs.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, why don't we start with just the basics? Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about your own background and how you got into doing your current work that you do today?
Well, prior to becoming the Get Hired expert, Lorraine, I have over 20 years of business experience working for corporate Fortune 100 companies such as Manpower, Citigroup, Sprint. Different roles such as corporate account executive, account manager, business development. And I love helping people strategize. And how I became a coach, I was helping colleagues and clients interview for jobs, whether it could have been an internal job or it could be one even outside of their companies. And I was doing that for like maybe 2 or 3 years, just helping them to succeed because I have a passion for helping people to succeed. And one day, one of my colleagues said, he said, people do this for a living. And I said, really? They do.
Yeah.
And I said, well, is it a good living? And he said, yeah. He said, people need help interviewing. And he said, whether it's a recent college grad or even an experienced professional. So I continue to help clients, colleagues to interview. And, gradually I started to investigate and research. And I said, let me just start to see if people really want this. And then I said, how can I make myself different from any other interview coaches? So that's how the tagline came, the Get Hired expert, because my goal is and give them on coaching just by helping other people.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. We have similar missions, definitely. And I can relate to that too, that feeling of, sometimes I tell people what I do as a career coach and they're like, oh, that's a job. And I'm like, well, I made it a job. It is now, right? No, but you're right. You said you didn't realize like you could make a living doing that, but you can. And that's one of the kind of the spirit of this show is too, that you can make a living out of nearly anything if you want to do it, if that's really of value to the world and that's something that you want to do. So yeah, I totally get that. You and I are kind of of the same background there. I made it a job. I turned it into one. So that's good. That's good. So, I like the approach that we're taking today with you. One of the reasons I wanted to bring you on specifically was because I know you help people with interview coaching and to get the job, but what I think we need to explore more on this show that you could offer to our listeners is how can you succeed at a new job? What do you do afterwards? And I don't think a lot of people that I work with or that I know of really go into a new job with any kind of a strategic plan. Maybe some people do, but I think that's kind of a new concept for a lot of people. So can you just give us some ideas? Why is that important? Why would someone need to think about having, a 30, 60, 90-day plan and really putting some thought into intention into what happens after you get the job? Why is that so important to you?
One of the reasons why it's so important, Lorraine, we've spent so much effort trying to get the job. We want to have the right answers when we are interviewing. We want to have, everything follow up. So when we get the job, we're all excited. But then what happens after excitement comes sometimes stress and feeling overwhelmed, because that 90 days is so critical in terms of your job performance, because the hiring manager wants to see whether or not he or she has made the right decision. They want to see whether or not you are a perfect fit for that organization. So now all of a sudden your stress level goes up. Yes, you know the roles and responsibilities of that position, but you don't have a game plan or a strategy. Most people go in, okay, I have to do A, B, and C on this job, and I hope I give the best performance within these 90 days so I can secure the job. But by not having a successful roadmap, you're not really focused. You're not really focused on the core things that can help you not only meet and exceed expectations, but also go beyond the 90 days. And what I've discovered through coaching clients, when I would a lot of times follow up after a client get hired, I'm excited, the client is excited. And I said, well, how's things going within the first 30 days? And then all of a sudden they might say, well, it's not really working out. And then I would do a lot of probing, and I said, let's start, how did you start off the job? And they didn't have any strategy. So I decided to do more research and even talk to clients even more. How can I assist you, not help you just get the job, but maintain the job and succeed and even get promoted, whether it's within the first year or the second year, to position yourself. So I broke it down into 3 areas. One is work performance goals. I want you to be able to identify and capture opportunities within that organization, be a problem solver, take leadership roles. And then the next, employee initiative goals. Define your value. Define your value within the marketplace, within that organization, to be able to effectively communicate that value and also demonstrate that value each and every day within the workplace. And then thirdly, personal development goals. Invest in your career through continuous learning. And that's the short version, but those are the 3 criteria that I highly recommend your listeners to focus on when they're starting a new job. Work performance goals is 1. Employee initiative goals is number 2. And number 3, personal development goals. What this does is give you confidence and focus, and also gives you self-discipline, and most importantly, a roadmap within the first, not just 30, 60, 90 days, but within that 1 year and even beyond that.
That is so good. And what I heard, a couple of things that I took away from what you just said in terms of benefits for why you would want to give some focus to this. It sounds like, number one, it can decrease the amount of stress and overwhelm that you have when starting a new job, because it is stressful. I remember what it feels like to start a new job. You feel like you're kind of under the microscope, a little bit like everybody's kind of watching you. You've got to prove yourself, and you don't know anybody yet. I mean, it's really hard you're kind of uncomfortable sometimes, So it sounds like you're saying that you think that this would be beneficial because it's going to reduce their stress and their overwhelm in those first couple of days. It's also going to help them make a better impression with the employer. And those are hard impressions to reverse, those first impressions, if you don't start off right. And then also it's just going to help them be more effective in their role. If they have a strong start and can kind of prove themselves early, it sounds like they just, you'll be able to help them really hit the ground running. That's what I heard from what you said. And those are huge benefits. I love that. What do you think, Robert, is one of the biggest mistakes that you see people make when they start a new job?
Lorraine, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is being a loner and failing to really ask questions throughout the 30, 60, 90 days. And when I say being a loner, yes, you know what your job roles and responsibilities are, but a lot of new employees, they underestimate the value of building quality relationships within their organization. And quality relationships, yes, you want to have a great working relationship with your manager, but also your team members. You want to know and embrace them, because they also can help you meet and exceed your goals and objectives, and also help you to become successful. Because if you isolate yourself, a lot of times, like you said, it is stressful within the first 30, 60, 90 days. And when you start to build those relationships, those individuals can help you in so many different ways. And by not asking good questions, a lot of times, don't ever be afraid to ask questions. Because when you're not asking questions, like for instance, if you have weekly, I would say solicit your manager weekly. Ask questions, not just questions, how do you measure my success, but how can I improve on what I'm currently doing now? What would you suggest as a manager? What is the blueprint for people to be successful in this position? Start asking questions throughout the process, because when you're asking questions throughout the process, that's going to help you improve your job performance.
So for everybody listening, it sounds like what Robert is saying is don't go it alone. Focus on building relationships, have open communication, initiate those sit downs with your boss and getting to know your coworkers, customers, everyone you're going to be working with, really. And don't be afraid to speak up and ask questions, because it's only going to benefit you. And, you can't know everything when you start a job. So you've got to feel comfortable to ask questions and get what you need. And it sounds like that's going to make a big difference. Did I pretty much sum it up? It sounds like it comes down to really communication and relationships.
You could have wrote the book.
Yes. Well, you wrote the book. You wrote it. Yeah. But thank you. I got my own little ebook. I got my own book and you got yours. Yeah. No, but I think it's good. I mean, obviously, we both do career coaching, but, it's the same, but it's different, and so I love we can say the same things, but we say it in a different way. Yes. You have your own way of saying a lot of the same things. So I think it's good for people to hear it from different angles and different people. And it kind of reinforces the message. I like that we have similar messages. And I think it's just kind of complements each other. And like I said, we really haven't focused on this portion of the job search here. So I think this is really valuable and awesome for listeners. So here's what we're going to do, guys. Let's take a quick commercial break for just a moment. And when we come back, I have a couple more questions for Robert. So there's more to this interview. So we're just going to take a quick break, guys, and we will be right back. Hey there, my listeners. We're on a short break, and I have a question for you. Are you looking for a new job, but you don't know where to start? Or maybe you've been searching, and it's taking too long, and you're not getting any results. Many clients don't know how to launch an effective job search, and they spend months or even years looking. Well, I have a solution for that. My coaching program, Career Jumpstart, teaches you my proven 3-step strategy that has landed hundreds of clients amazing new jobs in about 60 days. In this program, I personally will guide you on how to confidently and authentically market yourself to employers, resulting in a better job faster. If that sounds like what you've been missing, head over to careeruprising.com and apply for my Career Jumpstart program today. That's careeruprising.com. All right, let's get back to our show. Hey, everybody, we are back, and I've got my special guest today, Robert Moment, the Get Hired expert, and we are talking about all things that you need to know when starting a new job and how to do it right and how to do it confidently and be successful. So, Robert, what I would love to know, can you share maybe an example of a success story with a client? You don't have to give names or anything like that, but can you just kind of give us an example of maybe a client that you worked with who implemented some of these new strategies in a new job and was successful, so we can kind of just get a sense of what some of these strategies might look like in action?
Yes, that's a great question, Lorraine. Several clients, but the one that really stands out the most, one of my clients, I helped coach him about 2 years ago, and he was an executive. I helped him to get hired for the job, and he was excited, and he contacted me, and he said, I need for you to help my daughter, Beth. And he said she was a recent college grad, and he said, I need you to help her during the interview process, just like you helped me. Well, she landed a job, major company, as a business analyst. And I said, okay, great. Dad got a job, and even daughter. And then I get an email from him. He said, can you continue to help her? And he said, she's excited about the job, but now she's feeling stressed and overwhelmed. And he said, because can you give her a roadmap? And this is how really the book came about. He said, I need you to give her something that's comprehensive. And I said, well, I only just really follow up with clients. So what I did was, once again, work performance goals, employee initiative goals, and also professional development goals. So it was customized, but it really gave her a roadmap to give her the confidence, so she was focused, because was her first real job out of college, and gave her the success strategies such as listen and learn, set realistic goals, know your team members, ask smart questions, learn to observe the culture, identify key individuals within the organization, solicit weekly feedback from your manager. And just to give you the short version, and even give us strategies on how to get promoted, go above and beyond. Also, be a problem solver and show how you can continue to add value. And she went from within a year, almost a year and a half, from a business analyst to a senior business analyst. And now she is the associate director of business analysis.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's awesome.
But she had a roadmap. And what I realized, when, she had the drive, she had the self-discipline, the motivation, she had a great GPA, she graduated from a great school. But what she didn't have was a plan. But once she implemented and executed this plan, and she surpassed she even said, her own expectations. She didn't, in her wildest dreams, she said, I never thought I would be an associate director. And actually, they created that position for her. And a lot of times people always equate sometimes promotion with tenure. But in her case, based on the things that she implemented, and like I said, she gets all the credit because she did the work, but she just implemented these tactics and strategies, and that's how she landed those promotions.
Mm-hmm. That's an awesome story. Yeah, I like what you said too about being a problem solver. We talk a lot about that on this show, that is what employers are looking for, hands down. I mean, if there's one thing above anything else that they are looking for, they are hiring you to solve their problems. And so it's not that you have to solve everything in the first 90 days, but you need to be assessing what problems do they have, where can I add value, and start coming up with a plan for how you can help them solve those problems while you're employed there, because that's the whole purpose of all of this. So, and you have the ability to do that. We're all problem solvers. We are, all in some way, whether we think of ourselves that way or not. Everyone knows how to solve some kind of problem. That's why you got the job.
Yes.
Because you can do it.
Yes.
Awesome. So tell listeners, Robert, about your new book. I know you have a book that just came out. Tell them the title, where they can find it, and what is it about? What can they expect if they take advantage of that and get your book?
Well, thank you, Lorraine, for the introduction for my book. The title of the book is Starting a New Job, Career Planning and Job Promotion Tactics for Motivated and New Employees. And you will find within that book how I'd give you a breakdown in the first 30, 60, 90 days and beyond, work performance goals, employee initiative goals, also personal development goals, and even questions that you can ask, whether you're a recent college grad or even an experienced professional, that you can ask your manager during those 30, 60, 90 days, but also too, steps on how you can get promoted, even steps that you can take the first day that you're on the job. So those are things that's in the book. It's an easy read in terms of, I tried real life experiences where you can relate, and it's universal. When I say universal, it's not based on industry. It applies to any industry, because when you're talking about listen and learn, set realistic goals, clearly define success, that's universal across all industries. But the most important thing that a reader will be able to get from this book, and just to summarize everything, beyond how to succeed on the first 30, 60, 90 days and beyond, they will be able to define their value, be able to effectively communicate that value, and be able to demonstrate that value in the workplace. And this book can be found on Amazon.com.
Awesome. Awesome. And what we're also going to do for listeners of this show, you guys, if you are interested in picking up Robert's book, and I really think that you should, honestly, I really think that you should. I've actually begun reading it myself and I love it. So I want you guys to take advantage of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to, where you can get the first 2 chapters for free. Everyone, I'm going to put that link 2 places. One, in our Facebook group that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. So that's my Facebook group, Career Uprising. So anyone in that group is going to get the link to go to Amazon, get the first 2 chapters for free. I'm also going to put it out to my email list as well. So if you're not in my Facebook group, if you're not on the email list, don't miss out. That's how you're going to get to take advantage of that offer and get a taste of what's in the book. So awesome. And do you have a website, Robert? Where can people go just in general to learn more about you?
Yes, they can go to howtoaceaninterview.com.
Okay, howtoaceaninterview.com. I like that. It gets right to the point. Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Robert. We're kind of getting to the end here, but I think this was really valuable. I thank you for taking the time to share this, and also just for reaching out to me and kind of being in my network, though I'm really, really excited. So everyone go get Robert's book, go to howtoaceaninterview.com, and I will be back, of course, next week with a brand new topic. I hope to see you hanging out with me in my Facebook group, Career Uprising, but have a beautiful day, guys. Until next time, okay? Talk to you later. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show was brought to you by InflowRadio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.